What's up, everybody? Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're listening to this, I guess. Because who are we? We are the Punch Drunk Critics. I'm John. Who are you? Everybody should know who we are. God damn it! I said everybody should know who we are. God damn it! We're national treasures. Yeah. Good. Good. Another week closer to Halloween. I have my special background. I think I stole it from Jim Jarmusch's "The Dead Don't Die," actually. So don't sue me, Jim. um, yeah. So just getting ready for Halloween or whatever functions as Halloween in the time of COVID. You know, no. You want to go trick or treating with us? You're welcome. Oh, fair enough. We're actually not even going trick or treating. My sister ended up putting together like a Halloween party at her house because I know people are still going, but I mean I think pretty much every week for the last 6 months we've railed for at least 5 minutes on how stupidly people have been treating this whole situation. But trick or treating is not one of those things that's the hill I'm going to die on. So my sister, but at the same time, you want to make sure the kids have a good time. You want to make sure everybody's happy because it's important. So you have a party. Yeah. 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 Plus, it's the only time of year when everybody's wearing a mask anyway. So, yeah. Love it. That might be why I love Halloween so much. I don't know, like subconsciously. Well, I mean, I like to say it's because I'm a horror fan and all this kind of stuff, but that subconsciously, that's. I mean, I think I started liking Halloween in 2003. I went to a party at East Carolina University on Halloween. Wow, just say that. What have you been up to? What have you been doing this week? Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, and that really burst into the stratosphere. In the 2000s, man, it really started being an adult holiday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I finally made the transition from Red Dead Redemption, and I've been playing Avengers here and there, but like I'm split. Like on one hand, I'm having fun with the game. I can't lie and say I'm not. But on the other hand, I really wish they would have taken more time because every level you can almost tell. Like there's part of the game you're in the for those out there who haven't played it, you're in the helicarrier, the shield helicarrier, and there's like a danger room, like X-Men. It's the harm room. It's where your training room is, and like you can tell that that's literally the bones of half the levels that they made. It's a lot of fun, but it's copycatted everywhere. Mm-hmm. I haven't started that yet. Yeah, I'm actually on the last mission of the campaign. Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah. It's like five. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty open to repetitive games as long as whatever I'm doing repeatedly is fun. But a lot of people aren't, and that's. I mean, you have your levels are you have a generic office building, a generic desert, a generic forest, and like they, oh yeah, the generic city, yeah. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I will say, yeah, because the base with the characters is awesome. That's one thing they really did right. Every character feels very different. Like there's no carbon copies there, which is a complete opposite thing they did with the environments. But um, you know, is yeah. Well, the flying folks, my the pisses me off with them is some of the buttons are too close, and like you can't run, and then you start flying and going over here, and I don't know. So was the Avengers Initiative part? Is it more fun, the same amount as the campaign, or is it okay? So just more the same. Cool. Hmm. I never do. Yeah. No, you hit up first. You see where everything is. Yeah. Right. Uh huh. All right. Yeah. Biggest. Hmm. You just come in and scoop up the points. Biggest surprise of the game was, and this is well veers back into movies. Kamala Khan that you mentioned earlier, Miss Marvel, isn't something that's known to a lot of people outside of the comic community, comic book reading community, and really even the serious comic readers at that. Um, and she is the main character in the game, basically, at least for the first part. And the most pleasant surprise of the game. She is so fun to play with. She's basically like Mr. Fantastic essentially. She's a polymorph, and when you're she was a lot of fun too. Yeah, but Miss Marvel just it I got a real throwback to Spider Man when she's grabbing things and shooting herself on there. There's a real like joy to that. So that's not all we did this week though. Yes, there you go. Mm-hmm. No, he did great. Yeah. Well, before you get into the actual movies, real quick, just for everybody out there, what's it like attending a film festival in the time of COVID now? Is it vastly different, or so you're at home in your living room, or whatever, watching these movies? Mm-hmm. 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 Right. No, I got to fix my internet connection. My cable fell out. Excuse me. There you go. I was getting an internet connection unstable. I had to fix my cable. Wow. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, can you dive into that again just a little bit more? Because I'm curious myself. Are they sending you links and you watch a movie there, or is it like a Zoom event and you same time? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. Heard that gets juicy. I heard that gets juicy. That movie is a little out of character for Saoirse Ronan. Mm. What? Okay. Oh God. Uh huh. Right. Uh huh. Family dining right next door. Oh God. I'm warm all of a sudden. Also, I'm not going to stand up for other reasons. Right. Oh man. Well, that sounds cool. Because I was wondering, because they call it a virtual film festival. If you're just sending out links, it almost seems like you're just sending out screeners. I thought they might have done something like, the movie still plays at 7. Everybody's got to log in at 7, and then you do the because most if for anybody that hasn't been to a film festival, most if not all of the screenings have some kind of Q&A before or after, and then they have like some kind of Zoom thing. But it sounds like it's a mixture of all that. It's pretty cool. And for all that middle book. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, I mean, at least until probably I'd say through 2021 at this point. I'm not hopeful for anything sooner. You guys can check out all of Travis and Cortland's Middleburg coverage at punchdrunkcritics.com right now. There's tags in there for the Middleburg Film Festival 2020. You can see everything that came out of there. Um, Other big news, the U.S. election is in 3 weeks. Is it 2 weeks now? I think it's 2 weeks. Um, 2 weeks ago, or well, maybe 2 months ago, we didn't even know Borat was making another movie. This weekend, we got Borat Subsequent Moviefilm on Amazon. Excuse me. Um, obviously the timing is impeccable and intentional. Yep. And there was a lot of political turmoil when the first Borat film premiered, but I think it was really maybe I'm misremembering history, but to me it seemed that movie was more uncomfortably funny than it was politically relevant, I guess. Or maybe it's just that it wasn't as bad then. Yeah, it was the second term of George W. Everybody hated the war. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Told you. I told you what was happening and you didn't listen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is, anybody, it's been a while, so people, it's hard to remember that, in the 2000s, and then, there was definitely, racism was a hot topic, but it was mostly Middle Eastern racism that people were talking about, like people being racist towards Middle Eastern people. And there were a lot of people that were content to say all, other forms of racism didn't exist anymore. And, he came out and kind of showed that it did. And in a lot of ways, planted those seeds. The domestic terrorism thing is I don't think people still really accepted the fact that that's what's going on in a lot of these cases is domestic terrorism, no different than Al Qaeda, just inside our borders, um, and and he's really blowing that out there. But with all that being said, all the relevance and everything like that, there was a big story with real world effects. I hope to come out of it. Um, big secret hush hush beforehand, but I feel we're okay to talk about it now because it's been blasted all over everything. The big difference in this movie is Borat. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't trust everybody to hold it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tutar. Yeah, that's what I say. The big difference is this time it's not just Borat; it's Borat and his daughter Tutar. Mm-hmm. She is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who was it in the first one? Who was his target? Who was his target in the first one? Like the main person he was trying to get to was it Madonna? No, it was Madonna. Yeah, it was uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Take the baby out her tummy. Oh man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. watching that conversation and seeing that guy's reaction when Borat chimes in is like, she's my daughter. I want what's best for her. After he's already implied that the baby is. So, oh man, it's just hilarious. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a percentage you can deal with Borat. I mean, with me, I've dealt with anxiety issues my whole life, and so movies like this, it's the same reason I can't watch those dating shows like 90 Day Fiance. My wife was watching that. I can't watch them with her. It's not that. It's like you get anxious for the person on TV. You feel the anxiety for them, or at least I do, and it's literally physically uncomfortable. And the first Borat was like that. This one, it was the same amount, but I still wanted to watch it more. And I'm glad you brought up the thing about what he could do with Tutra, whatever, his daughter there. And I mean, the big scene that everybody's talking about with Rudy Jones, I know how they're trying to spin it. I know what I think, how I perceive that scene. I think there's, yeah, I'm not letting anybody off the hook. I'm just saying, I know what I thought I saw. Mm, yeah, yeah. Doesn't matter if she's 15. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shows how smart he is. Mm-hmm. 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 She was vulnerable. Mm. Yep. The the yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, I mean, yeah. I uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing: is they lie about it because not because they're that egotistical, but because they've seen it work and it's worked for them. I mean, trust me. Um, you know, well, yeah. Well, I mean, these ultra. but he doesn't care about us. He cares about the people that are going to keep popping them up. And here we are a year. Mm-hmm. And I've never been in the position. Yeah. I've never been in that position. I mean, I know right now, after seeing everything that's happened to celeb, the one thing we can learn from all these things is that the truth is the best route, no matter how bad you think it is, because you're not going to go further down the hole. But the thing about it is, why I love that they did this so much is we're a year after Me Too, and I know we joke a lot about here about me being the misogynistic one and things like that. But I have a 6-year-old daughter. I have a sister and a mother. I love it. I this stuff disgusts me, and we have countless stories. It took hundreds of stories before people started to take it seriously. And even now, with everything we've had it documented, it takes photographic video proof like this for people to really get to understand. They can say all day that they've read the article in the Times and they know that Brett Ratner is a douchebag, but it doesn't really sink in until you see stuff like this. There's a scene in Bombshell where Margot Robbie goes in to talk to Roger Ailes, or whatever the hell his name is. Ailes, there you go. And it just it blows my mind about these guys because number one, I never got the move that apparently a lot of guys in Hollywood and in Power do, where you just pull it out and start playing with it in front of a girl. It just seems super awkward to me. I don't know why they go that way, and all these guys are so like gross looking. I just remember, I guess it's the power, but like I would go into a bar or a club and I would be so anxious to go up and talk to anybody, and these guys just feel like, yeah, she's 20 years old. I'm 843 and overweight, but she's into me. Like the ego is amazing. But on an entertainment level, I will say that it was very uncomfortable at times, especially with the anxiety thing I was talking about earlier. But it was made up for by the laughs, even if the laughs were kind of depressing at times. Mm-hmm. He started before COVID, right? He started shooting. Mm-hmm. 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 5G is gonna bring our alien overlords. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they say you got to laugh to keep from crying, but it can be hard sometimes. They're contrarians, is what it is. It bothers me too, but if you're gonna take your the definition of who you are, if you're gonna define your person based on what somebody else says, regardless of who that person is, I don't really care. To be honest with you. Um, mhm. But the thing is, in today's world, we have the in combined information of the entire history of the world at our fingertips, and it only takes a bit of common sense to realize when something is targeted to make you think, or biased and targeted to make you think a certain way. You can do 10 minutes of research and get alternate takes on things to understand the whole picture. I have no sympathy for the followers either. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, Travis is tier three movie reviewer where they send him swag boxes. They don't bring him to the Oscars yet, but I'm tier 17. They send me ticket receipts. Oh Jesus, I was just using it up there. Oh man. Okay, you could get to the Oscars if you wanted to. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got like 14 professional associations. I'm sure you could get in there. Three, yeah. Let's keep rolling with this. Let's get to 14. Right. Um, yeah, Bad Hair, The Witches. I did not see the one. Yeah, I did not. I did not see the one that I can't pronounce. I've. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I can't say the word. I can't. But. Mm, hmm. Yeah. Oh. Mm, yeah. Straight to his house. Oh, okay. That is cool. Yeah. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't really connect to, but it had that yeah. I'm white. WHIT. E. Um, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for being me, people. With this light on, with this light on me, I'm especially white. Like, check that out. No, I'm fucking around. Right. Well, yes, for sure. So, but it did. The thing I loved about it is it had the kissing booth. That's where we're going. That's the most lily white movie you could think of, huh? That's pretty close. I'll give it to you. Yeah, but it's got a real wonderful like B movie, almost like Little Shop of Horrors feel to it. Like a B horror movie, genre movie from the 80s. Like, it's got a little bit of the Hammer films. It's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I just Hulu has been doing some amazing stuff during what they're calling Huluween. Jay Farrow I thought was awesome. I always like to see Dawson, so seeing him show up was cool. And it's just all around. It was a lot of fun. I thought everybody knows Dawson. You don't have to explain that. Hmm. Oh yeah. Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Seems a little here too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty amazed that you were surprised I saw this, considering who you see right there above me, Miss Kelly Rowland is in it. I know a lot of people are Beyonce, but Destiny's Child, there was nobody but Kelly, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that I did love. I guess yeah, yeah, yeah. She's got to be like in her mid 50s now, right? Um, and I did really like. There was a real nostalgic bit to it because I mean, as we established earlier on in this review, I'm a white gentleman, and but I was one of those suburban white guys that I had my NWA tapes, I had my my Arrested Development stuff, and that's the nostalgia for this time where people were wearing dashikis all around, the cross colors you mentioned. Arrested Development is who I always think of. Song Mr. Wendell, for those of you who can't remember, YouTube it if you haven't. Tennessee was guy. I always like Mr. Wendell better. You know. Oh yeah, Everyday People. I forgot about that. That's a good one. But yeah, I mean, there was a real fun nostalgia to that whole deal. Speaking of nostalgia, there's a remake of a very beloved movie from what was it, late '80s, early '90s, I guess. It's hard to remake Meryl Streep, huh? The Witch as It Is, which I don't think either of us liked. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Jackie Houston, not Meryl Streep. Mm-hmm. 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 Now is mm-hmm. Oh, that the makeup on when she goes into witch form in the original movie, that makeup is enough to scar you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 He really knocked Steve Carell off the heights. That was the last. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. It happens. Yeah. 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 Yep. Yep. BFG was one of those. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Well, Nadine Velasquez in that opening scene. Yeah. I I don't. I remember obviously the original one was iconic. My wife is actually in the other room watching it with our kids right now, and yeah, the new one that's just out on it's on and it's out on HBO Max. I don't know if we mentioned that it's an HBO Max release, but I remember the original one. Like I mentioned, the makeup Angelica Houston had when she turned into the witch form. It's iconic. I remember it seared in my memory, but the rest of the movie I don't remember any of it. It didn't make an impact for me other than that. And this definitely didn't make me want to go back and check the other one. Anne Hathaway to me is really. I mean, I understand that past my feelings that the reason I feel this way is that she's an amazing performer, but there's an air about her of just like this stuck up Upper West Side snobbish woman who's spitting on homeless people. And when she really gets into that, it's so annoying to me. I can't stand her character, even if that's the point. And it was really kind of hard to watch her in this because she was hamming it up pretty seriously. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, but I just it's not her fault. I understand her performance was great, but she already has that air about her. So when she really leans into it, it's extremely effective. And maybe if this was a better directed or a differently written movie, it would have been something that really blew me away. But it just I couldn't get into it. I couldn't. It was not something for me. Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Synchronic. One thing we didn't talk about. Oh no, that is it for this week. Yeah, not for this week. For as far as movies for this week, we do have plenty of news to talk about. The yeah, we got about 10 minutes left in the show. Amazingly, I think that's the first time we checked the time and weren't 30 seconds away from the end. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, we got about 10. We've been recording for 43. Or twice a week, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. And we have, for all our listeners out there, shoot us a message info at punchdrunkcritics.com if you'd be interested in seeing or comment on the video on YouTube. We need to start saying like and subscribe like everybody else out there. I just feel kind of like a tool when I say that, but like and subscribe. Yeah, comment on the video. Let us know if you guys would be interested in seeing a weekly check-in. It's something we've talked about a bit here. Yeah. Well, and we can always go until it just yeah. So exactly, that might be why we always go over. Um, that I mean, the most surprising thing to me is the Jared Leto and Zack Snyder's Justice League news because I mean, here's a character that's universally hated. Both in performance and design and role in the movies. And for Snyder, who's riding this wave of positivity and support, to say, "Oh, you guys love me so much. Let me pull back that thing that you didn't like and put it in front of your face again." It's very weird. But at the same time, he's balanced it out by mentioning Deathstroke's coming back, Joe Manganiello, who I have always thought that was the biggest missed opportunity that we didn't get to see that because there is not a more perfect casting than him as Slade Wilson. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he's adding to it. No. No. Right. I'm trying to think of where they would even fit in because Justice League, like Batman v Superman, it would fit in. Justice League, it was one scene of each, and then they come together. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. And we know there was a bunch shot because before the movie came out, there. I mean, half of the behind the scenes footage we saw was of that car chase and the purple exotic sports car and Batman on top of it, but we never saw that except for maybe 2 frames of it, 2 seconds of it. Yeah, it's a tease. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, 4 1 hour episodes was the allotted time that would work for cutting what he had, not what he was going to shoot. That wasn't like, hey, make this for us. It was, hey, take what you have, cut it into four, and we're good. And now, which maybe it'll work out, but for me, it seems a lot like he's not being thankful for the second chance he got because he was not getting goodwill before Whedon took over anyway. So now that everybody's acting like they loved him the whole time, he could ruin that quickly. Mm. Nothing. Oh, for sure. Hmm. Yeah, it's a precedent-setting event if it happens because Bill and Ted Face the Music is one thing, but James Bond is a uniquely theatrical franchise. You can't, you know. Mhm. Mhm. It is, but the rights, no. Yeah, yeah, and of those movies, only a few of them, mostly the Connery ones, are gonna pull any kind of viewer interest. I mean, nobody is subscribing to a streaming service to watch Moonraker. But and the other thing that is screwing with that, and the reason that price sounds so high and makes me doubt a little bit is because 600 is way too big for No Time to Die. For the Craig ones, I guess I could see that, but every Bond movie before the entire Bond catalog before that must be cheap because it's currently the rights for that streaming are currently with Hulu and Amazon Prime. They have the entire catalogs, and I've seen those bounced on Crackle, and you can always really kind of tell what the stock price of that franchise of that movie was based on where it ends up in streaming. If it's on Netflix, top dollar. If it's on Hulu, next one down. If it's on Prime, next one down. If it's on Hulu and Prime, one below that, and that's where Bond sits. At least for all of the ones prior to Casino Royale. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're in a period of transition anyway, so. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, especially considering from a PR standpoint, what better time to announce your partnership with a streaming service than at the same time you announce the new Bond, and where that place will be premiering. I mean, if we're being honest, if you take everything as it is right now with COVID and move it 20 years ago, um, that would have been more of a big deal. But theaters so solely subsist on that comic book movie money. I mean, Marvel. If Marvel was to move, and they've got to be scared of it. They've got to be scared of it because theaters would be screwed if Marvel said we're going to Disney Plus for everything from now on. Because that's mhm, nothing. I mean, for hmm, yeah, hmm, 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 yeah, nope, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's where all the money comes from. I mean, and right. Oh yeah, because you don't get series on the theater, so it makes sense. It and honestly, I think what we're talking about here, looking long term, is the future of entertainment. Is this whole thing with series, we found when the 10 episode series started, The long form 10 episode series started happening more often. I'm not talking about in the 80s when you had North and South and all that stuff. In the 2000s when we started getting these 10-part, um, series that were coming out, it became very apparent that they were compact enough that people would watch a lot of them. They didn't take up the whole year, and the storytelling could be much, much better, more involved, and pretty much everything around it, other than not getting an opening weekend box office, is better. Now, as these streaming things happen, I would not be surprised if 20 years from now, feature films are looked at the same way as we look at short films. It's like you might make a feature film here and there, but pretty much everything's coming to a streaming service. And if theaters go down, that will be accelerated really quickly. Shows used to be fun, and now they're making me depressed between talking about Borat and COVID and now no theaters. Yeah. Yeah. School will never be the same. Kids aren't going to get snow days anymore, probably. Um, yeah. In some cases, that might be a good thing, but at the end of the day, we're here. We're both healthy. We hope all you guys out there are healthy as well. And if you're not, we hope you're getting better soon. Um, Healthy. We don't have COVID. Let's put it that way. We're not healthy. You know. So you mentioned Mandalorian. That's definitely going to be on our plate for next week, right? Um, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Disney Plus presents Chimpanzees 3. Yeah. 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 You need to start these by. Yeah. I just I can't I cannot wait for that show. I mean, I don't think there's another more understated but perfect theme song in existence than for The Mandalorian. But so we will have that. I'm sure we'll do a deep dive next week. Now, it drops on Friday if I'm not mistaken, right? The 30th. Um I mean, I can try it. We watch it every week there. I can try it. I just always end up I got to you know what? I'll do it. The first week I'll let you know how it goes. I have a real bad problem. I always fall into a recap. Yeah, that's true. Hmm. Yeah, see that I won't be able to watch it till the night it comes out, and then yeah. So yeah, fair enough. Right. And what else is we got coming up in next week? I mean, that's all I'm worried about right now. To be honest with you. Yeah. Now I don't remember. Were you a fan of the Meg? Did you like the Meg? Uh huh. Me, yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, I love Lily James. It's the eyebrows. Hmm. No, I'm talking about Lily James. No, the eyebrows are Lily Collins. You're right, but no, Lily James. Lily James is the nose. It's the nose and the yeah. Hmm. Free Fire, which we talked about last week. Hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I mean, going up a ladder as opposed to rocket, rocket shitting up to the top. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, doing it that way. Right. And more importantly, when you do it that way, he has more of an idea of his style because your style is going to evolve, and you cannot evolve. That's like saying, I'm going to go from little league to playing in the MLB. You gotta slowly progress up there. So, I'll be interested to see that. That's the kind of movie I can definitely see going to streaming. So, but I think that's about all we got this week, right? Yeah, we just hit our hour, so we appreciate you guys sticking with us for the extra few minutes. We bring up our information. The site, as we said earlier, is www.punchdrunkcritics.com. Check that out every day for all your news and notes. We keep it extremely updated. So if you want to know what's going on, check it out there. Also, you can join us on Facebook. On Twitter, we're at PDC Movies, at Punchy Critic, and at Punch Drunk John. Travis is at Punchy Critic. I'm Punch Drunk John. PDC Movies is the site account. On Twitch, Travis is at cinematic_enforcer. He's streaming pretty much every day, I'd say at this point, right? I see my notice pop up a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. So check that out. Well, by the time you guys hear this, he won't. But check it out anyway. And then if you have any tips or questions, if you want to try your hand at writing or want to talk to us about anything at all, suggestions, anything, info at Punch. Yes, we are always looking for talented writers. If you want to just send us a sample, yeah, yeah. Um, I'm married, so I know my wife. That's about it. Yeah. So, info at punchdrunkcritics.com for anything. Send us an email. We'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. So until next week, guys, we are the Punch Drunk Critics. I'm John. And we are out of here.